It's funny. Money is something almost every single person on this planet uses, every single day. And yet, for most of us, we were never actually taught how it works, how to grow it, how to control it. But what if I told you there's a map, a clear blueprint that shows you exactly where you are, and more importantly, how to get where you want to go? Well, today, we're going to unfold that map.
Okay, let's really dive into this, because this isn't just some abstract theory, you know? This is a framework that pretty much separates the financially successful from, well, everyone else. We're going to break down these 5 distinct levels of financial mastery. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly which level you're on, and you'll know the exact next step to take to start climbing. This is the money ladder that nobody ever shows you in school.
You see, being good with money isn't just one thing. It's not like you flip a switch from off to on. It's more like a series of levels you have to climb, almost like you're mastering a skill or leveling up in a video game. And just like in a game, the rules and the strategies you need to win, they change completely the higher you climb. The problem is, most people get stuck on the first couple of rungs, not because they can't do it, but because they never even knew the map existed.
All right, so let's start at the very beginning, right? The foundation. We're talking about the first 2 levels. This is where most adults start their financial journey, and honestly, it's where a lot of people spend their entire lives. This is the journey from total financial chaos to just getting some basic control.
So here we are, level 1, survival. This is the stage where money feels like you're just trying to keep your head above water. It's a place of constant reaction, not action. At this level, you don't control your money at all. It absolutely controls you. It dictates your choices, your stress, and really, your entire future.
And look at these characteristics. Do any of these sound familiar? Living paycheck to paycheck isn't just a number in a bank account. It's a mental state, right? You're always just putting out fires. An unexpected bill feels like a catastrophe. Savings feel like a total luxury you can't even think about. And that credit card balance, it just keeps creeping up. Your whole financial life is driven by what's urgent, not what's important. It is pure reaction mode.
But here's the real trap of level 1. It's insidious. The single biggest danger isn't the debt or the constant stress. It's that after a while, it starts to feel normal. Millions and millions of people just accept this state of survival as their permanent reality. They get used to the anxiety and they stop believing there's even a way out.
But there absolutely is a way out, and it's probably simpler than you think. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to build awareness. That's it. It just comes down to mastering 3 foundational skills. First, you've got to track your expenses. Just see where your money's actually going. Second, build a tiny emergency fund. I'm talking a few $100, just to act as a buffer. And third, you make a conscious decision to stop digging the hole deeper. Stop taking on unnecessary debt. That's the key. That's what unlocks the door to the next level. And when you do that, it brings you here, to level 2, stability. This is where that constant churning chaos of level 1 finally starts to settle down into some clarity. At this stage, money stops being this thing you're desperately chasing, and it becomes something you can finally start to organize. You're taking your hands back on the wheel.
And this is where everything changes, mentally. You're shifting from just reacting to actually planning. You have a basic budget, so you know what's coming in and what's going out. You're actually able to save a little bit of your income, even if it's small at first. You have a real strategy for paying down debt, not just throwing minimum payments at it. And for the first time, you can start to think about future goals, not just your immediate needs. Remember that feeling of being helpless? Well, now you're starting to feel hopeful.
Okay, so level 2. It feels good, right? It's safe. It's like you can finally breathe for the first time in years. And a lot of people get so relieved to be here that they just stop. But here's the big warning label. Stability is essential, but it is not the end goal. Level 2 builds you a solid foundation, but it does not build you wealth. For that, you have to make the leap.
Which brings us to level 3. And folks, this is the big one. This is the pivot point for your entire financial life. This is the moment where your success stops depending only on how hard you work and starts depending on how smart you work. It's about knowledge, discipline, and strategy.
So welcome to level 3, growth. This is the stage where wealth is actually truly built. It's where you stop playing a purely defensive game, just paying bills and trying to save, and you finally start playing offense. You're no longer just protecting what you have, you are actively working to multiply it. And check out this mindset shift. This is absolutely huge. You stop asking, how much money can I earn from my job? And you start asking a totally different question. How much can my money grow for me? This is the core of the wealthy mindset. They don't just chase a bigger paycheck, they chase assets.
things that make money for them over time.
Because here's the secret sauce of level 3. When you start investing consistently, your money starts doing a job. Every single dollar becomes a tiny little employee working for you 24/7, never calling in sick. And thanks to the magic of compound interest, the longer those employees work, the harder they work. You start to understand that over the long run, time is actually way more powerful than income.
All right, so you've built stability. You've started the growth engine. What's next? Well, now we get to the advanced levels. This is where you go from just playing the game to actually changing the rules of the game in your favor.
And that brings us to level 4, leverage. Think of this as the wealth accelerator. It's where you stop using only the basic tools like saving and simple investing, and you start using the advanced ones. See, wealthy people don't get there just by saving a percentage of their paycheck. They get there by using systems that multiply everything they already have. And what are these advanced tools? Well, check them out. We're talking about using good debt strategically, like for a business or real estate, not the bad credit card debt for a new TV. It means understanding the tax code to your advantage, not just fearing it. Building multiple streams of income so you're not totally reliant on one job. At level 4, you realize there are 2 kinds of effort: your own limited effort and leveraged, nearly unlimited effort. This is the bridge from being financially comfortable to becoming financially unstoppable.
And that, my friends, brings us to the very top of the mountain, the whole reason we started this climb in the first place. Level 5, freedom. Now, this level isn't about having the most money or the biggest mansion. It's about having the most control. Control over your time, your choices, and your purpose in life.
So what is financial freedom, really? Let's break it down. It's the stage where your income no longer depends on you showing up to a job. Your assets, your investments are working hard enough to pay for your entire lifestyle. Your money is literally making money for you while you sleep. At this stage, you're not focused on survival or even growth anymore. You can finally focus on your legacy, on your purpose, on making the impact you want to make on the world. You've mastered money.
Okay. Wow. So we've gone from the absolute bottom, just trying to survive, all the way to the peak of total freedom. We've seen how each level builds right on top of the last one. So let's bring this all back to you. Where do you fit on this map? Look, right now, as you're listening to this, you are on one of these 5 rungs. Your income, your stress levels, your future, it's all being shaped by the level you're on right now. But the good news is, moving up isn't some impossible mystery. It just requires a commitment to these 4 things. Awareness, so you can see where you are. Structure, to get organized. Strategy, to build a real plan. And consistency, to just execute that plan day in and day out.
So, I want to leave you with this. This is the most important question of this entire explainer. After seeing this whole map laid out, which level are you truly at? Be really honest with yourself. And once you have that answer, the next question is even more powerful. What is the very next step, the one thing you need to do to begin your climb?